Hi guys, and welcome to this Blueberry Markets video update with me, John Kibler, head currency analyst. We are in the wake of the election, and I wanted to talk about Aussie US dollar. Obviously, Aussie US dollar is actually a pretty key chart, and I haven't spoke about it yet, but there is some great technicals on Aussie US dollar, but a lot of fundamentals at play and a lot of risks when it comes to the election, and a couple of different things could happen. So let's talk about the Australian dollar in terms of what would happen on a sort of Trump victory. Now, obviously, Trump and China are having a little battle, and if he is to be re-elected, then the likelihood is that Trump will continue to go at China. Okay, now typically that would put pressure on the Australian dollar, okay, because that's very closely linked to China, and if he's going to start pulling manufacturing away from China, then the Australian dollar typically will get impacted by that. So if and only if Trump has a very decisive win, I think it's going to be smart looking for shorts on Aussie US dollar. And I'm only going to say shorts below 0.7, okay? Because 0.7 is a huge level on this market. If I just zoom out for a second, you can see all the way through here, huge market or huge level on the Australian dollar. Typically when price is below 0.7, we get a nice trend and price gravitates towards that sort of level. You can see when we start trending back, it gravitated towards 0.7, and despite the sort of bullishness that's looking out of the market currently, the market is sort of pricing in a little bit of sort of Biden win at the moment. However, there is still a strong possibility that Trump could win, and if Trump does win and he goes back to the sort of trade war between the US and China, then breaks below 0.7 could lead to a further decline of the Aussie USD. Now, if Biden gets in, there may be a different outlook. We may see a little bit of risk on in the market. We may see stocks rally a little bit further. We may see the sort of risk on currencies or the risk currencies get stronger, and the dollar may even be a little bit softer, because as we're seeing at the minute, the market seems to be pricing in a little bit of a Biden win, which is kind of putting a little bit of the dollar at a softer pace. So the way I look at this is we have our huge support level down here at 0.7. If the market does breach that, then obviously we're going to be looking for that downside. However, looking towards the upside of the market, there is a nice sort of trend line resistance dropping through here where price is at the moment. And I think if price breaks through that, closes above that area, or even kind of looking left, closes above these sort of highs to the left hand side, then we're going to see some upside to the Aussie US dollar. I think we're going to see that nice breakout, a nice retest, and maybe even a position heading towards that 0.74 area, the highs of the year pretty much. So it'd be going to be super interesting. The RBA actually cut rates last night to 0.1 basis points from 0.25. Typically that would soften the Australian dollar. However, it hasn't. Price has remained a little bit buoyed, so it's going to be super interesting to see what happens this evening. Obviously as well, be super careful with any kind of positions you're looking to take, or always look for those key sort of areas to trade from. I think 0.7 is going to be the crucial factor in this market, and if 0.7 gets breached, we could see some further downside to Aussie US dollar. Obviously, if that risk on play comes into the mix and Biden wins pretty comfortably, we could see some upside. We have to also remember, just to kind of add a bit of a chink in that armor, Trump has already kind of stated that he will contest the result of states if he feels like he was being sort of frauded or any kind of way, or he just wants to contest that decision, that could also add a little bit of pressure onto the risk currencies as well, and we could see dollar benefit from the fact of that. So even if Biden does win, be careful that there may be a little bit of retribution from Trump, and he may contest, which could add some pressure. But I think breaks above 0.7160 are going to be pretty positive for the Australian dollar, and we could see some further upside into these sorts of key areas up around that 0.74. If Trump gets re-elected, then price breaking these lows here at 0.7 is going to be pretty key as well. So 2 major swing levels to be aware of. I hope you've enjoyed the content this week. Trade safely, and I'll speak to you soon.